कौन है? लड़की है क्या कोई? लड़का है?
Good morning and warm welcome to you all. I am Vaibhav, your host for today. Our topic for today is prevention of financial frauds using forensic accounting. It shall be taken by Mr. Samir Chaudhary. He shall cover introduction of prevention of financial frauds, defining fraud, profile of fraudsters, fraud triangle, fraud diamond, types of financial frauds, and followed by question and answer session. Let's quickly go through our today's agenda. Virtual inauguration by Dr. Sundar Kataria, invoking the blessing of Gayatri, chanting of Gayatri Mantra, introduction of speaker, presentation by Mr. Samir Chaudhary, question and answer session, and last closing session. A brief introduction of Dr. Sundar Kataria. Sadgun Sangh conceived and led by Dr. Sundar Kataria, driven with a mission to elevate the quality, safety, and environmental awareness levels of industry. Sadgun Sangh is a series of educative, informative events aiming to illuminate professionals on possible solutions to current issues of industry and economy. Let's know more about Dr. Sundar Kataria. Designation and organization, Chairman and Managing Director, International Certification Services Private Limited. His academic qualification, Doctorate in Business Management, followed by Mechanical Engineer. His experience, Rajasthan Atomic Power Project, India's first nuclear power plant, RAPP at Rawatbata, Kota, built by Indian engineers, worked as nuclear scientist for 11 years and successfully completed and commissioned the plant. Engineers India Limited, first batch of engineers to develop Bombay High offshore oil and gas fields, mega offshore complex platforms, trunk and submarine pipelines, underwater inspection and indigenization, oil and gas equipment, etc. Det Norsec Versatile's world largest classification society, worked for 17 years at various capacities for the certification of fixed offshore installations, submarine pipelines, onshore projects and personnel qualification, underwater inspection divers. ICS, he is founder of India's first certification conformance assessment body established in the year 1999, provider of total quality solution, certification of management system, ISO, inspection, testing, and training qualification of personnel. His achievements and awards: received Lifetime Achievement Award for the contribution for the corrosion technologies from NACE, International by NIGIS under NACE USA, social worker, protection of life, asset, environmental, and safety. Now I request Dr. Kataria to virtually inaugurate the session.
शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
Please join us for the recitation of the Gayatri Mantra. Introduction of our today's keynote speaker, Mr. Samir Chaudhary. His designation and organization, Chartered Accountant by profession. His academic qualification, Master in Commerce, LLB, DISA. His area of specialization and experience. He is senior partner at Chaudhary Shah and Associates LLP. He is also qualified as independent director and founder trustee, Health Foundation Serving Society since 2014. He is also pursuing registered valuer on securities and financial assets. Taken more than 300 plus webinars and seminars on various platforms. The firm is registered with the Indian Banks Association as forensic auditors. Please welcome Samir sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Abhijit. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Great. Good morning and warm morning, everyone. Hope you all must be fine. And pleasant start to the morning. It's Happy Diwali and Happy New Year. Since I am from Ahmedabad, Gujarat, so today is the beginning of a new year for us to start any new thing. Since it is said as a Labh Pancham. Labh means a happy thing or a Subh thing. And Pancham means the 5th day after Diwali. And since it's a 6th day, people will say, but one day was not considered as per the mythology in this area. So we are doing this thing. And thank you, Sadkan Sangh, Parivar, Vaibhav, who have followed me a lot. I know that. But since I was outside Vaibhav, it was not possible for me to connect you every time. Friends, now coming to the topic. We already have 44 participants, and where 40 were, I know, easily attending the seminar. And if the session will be interactive, since you have invested 1.5 hours of your beautiful Saturday, and where tomorrow will be India versus Australia, and people don't know. Someone says Ashwin ko lena chahiye, someone says Ashwin ko nahi lena chahiye, someone says Australia will win, somewhere Mitchell Mars is commenting anything that Australia will make 450 and Australia is going to out India in 65 all out. There are many points are there. Means every people have different mindsets and different opinions. And today we are into financial frauds. There can be a fraud, but talking about financial frauds, जो books से निकलता है, and how we can use that with the help of forensic accounting, friends. Now, talking about the same, can someone tell me what is meant by forensic audit? You can tell me through message. What does this image depicts you, friends? ये image आपको क्या बताना चाहती है? Here is one small image is kept. Can you tell me? What does this image signifies? I'm waiting for all, at least 3 reply I want, so that now there can be interactive session, friends. There is some image kept over here. A book is there, some court case, grade 9. Anyone else who can help me with that? ये image क्या बता रही है? Very simple questions with you all. Audit, fine, great, superb, Aanchal. Last one, at least I'm expecting. Because it's a starting of our lecture and it should be somewhat solid, friends. Last one, anyone can help me? Court case, okay, audit. Friends, 2 people have replied till now. They both have a different opinion and different view. One is focusing on court case, another is focusing on audit. Moving further, as per my view, I have asked you what does this photo depicts you. It simply means there's a green color book. Prevention, okay, examination, financial statements, SK, SIFA, Aanchal, superb. But this image simply shows there is a green color book, which is quite hefty book, and forensic audit is written in that. There's another book, which is a blue color book. It's a beautifully I would say her designed book. I can see in the corner of that book a speck of spectacles is kept on that blue book, which is of something at least 1.5 power. I can say the person who is using these spectacles must be a chessmate, I would say. There is a hammer in this book kept over there, and a person who has kept all these things beautifully is a careless person, because we can see that it's a ink pen and he have opened that pen. उसने उसको close भी नहीं किया friends, and he doesn't know कि within 10 or 15 minutes this pen will not be used then. So what, and the everything is kept on the red carpet. Am I clear, friends? I have simply asked you, friends, okay, what does this photo shows? Have I asked you कि इसका meaning क्या हो रहा है कुछ भी? But since we are in a lecture of prevention of financial frauds using forensic accounting, we think on that part only. नजरिए का फर्क है. The things we are looking at, we are checking at, makes a complete difference. If you're asking my son who is of 5 years of age, it doesn't mean anything to him. He will say, Papa, कुछ भी नहीं है तो 2 book पढ़ी है. And we are asking to a police officer, he will say some crime may have taken place. If you're asking to a judge, the same way he will say a court case was there and now the order have been passed mostly, and that judge have to take utmost care, and the case includes the forensic audit and even an investigation. And when talking about the same, can anyone help me? There was a famous serial in Sony TV before 5 to 7 years, and it runs for almost more than a decade. The famous name was CID. याद है सबको? CID? Yes or no, friends? कितने ऐसा जिसको CID याद नहीं है? Yes, super. उसमें 2 कैरेक्टर थे, बहुत फेमस थे. एक CID के मेन ACP प्रद्युमन, and second most and important person in that, Daya. Yes, super. Clap for Anshul ji. When I'm talking about Daya, तो अगर कोई भी केस होता तो there was a famous dialogue and an acting of ACP Pradyuman. Daya, देखो क्या था वो dialogue? If anyone can remember this. And from here only our lecture will start. We are going to enjoy 1 hour and 15 minutes of beautiful journey, and I assure you, friends, that I know very less things in my life. Superb, Sana Khan. Kuch to garbad hai. And so when we are Sumukh Prakash ji, great, superb. So when we are going to discuss on this thing, and when we are taking this lecture, so you will find, friends, that whenever there is some doubt or red flag, I am going to do this, and you have to tell at least to yourself, kuch to garbad hai, or you have to write in a comment box. In this now only 1 hour and something 15 minutes left, we are going to enjoy completely new thing, friends. And I assure you that you are going to take something new to your life, and I'm going to learn something from you all. Great. Moving further, friends, आज हम क्या पढ़ने वाले? What we are going to learn today? What is meaning of audit? So we know what is audit, but let's see with some different angle. Difference between forensic and other audits, meaning of forensic and forensic audit, need of forensic audit, scope of forensic audit, fraud component in forensic audit, the fraud triangle. Sir, but even in our childhood, we are discussing about geometry and then rectangle, square, all these things. But what is this fraud triangle? The most important part when we are discussing about forensic accounting or forensic audit. How a person can conduct a fraud. I'm not here to guide you this, but on an ethical part I'm talking about. What are the fraud detection techniques? Methods of a forensic audit? Forensic audit broad methods. What are the broad methods you can do? Check. What are the standards? You must have heard about Indian accounting standards. You may have heard about audit standards, all these things. Now there's another part that is called forensic audit standards. what are the opportunities for the professionals in forensic audit. And at the end, we are going to do a conclusion. So, sir, all these 15 points will be covered. Easily we can cover, don't worry. We're talking about the same, friends. Can anyone tell me what is meant by audit? And please kindly reply quickly, friends. There are 40 members, 4 or 5 people are replying. What about others? I know virtual session is very much good. You can off your camera and you can enjoy. But if you are investing some time, I think you should work on that part. Waiting for people. What is meant by forensic audit? What is meant by audit, friends? Anyone who can reply with that? Jo man mein aaye, bindas bolo. You can tell anything because I'm on the other side, you're not on the other side. There can be mistake, don't worry, friends. And here I'm there to guide you on a very basic way, friends. Anyone, what is meant by audit? Just think what is meant by audit, friends. Now this AI, this chat GPT, many things are there. Review, okay, Dilip ji. Audit means verification of data, superb, Kiran. And here I have enjoyed and really amazed to get a reply. Because what happens when I'm even taking a physical lecture, means a seminar instead of a webinar, many places across India. So people used to tell me, sir, audit means checking of financial documents. Sir, audit means a certification, a signing of documents. Sir, audit means a prerogatory of a CA who can do the same. But actually audit means a review, validation, and verification of data. Means a set of principles and rules have been already drafted. I have to do like this, I have to do this, I have to do this. And whether that all things have been checked or not, whether that have been complied or not, and what is the deviation between them. That is called audit, friends. So, sir, CA can do statutory audit, but actually audit can be done by anyone. He can have an authority sign that audit to verify and to justify that this audit has been done under my review and the matter is true and fair. So friends, सर ये सब का मतलब क्या हुआ? Detail में अगर बताऊं, then audit is an unbiased examination. Please note, friends, it's not a biased one, unbiased. If I know Vaibhav personally and he brings to me, just for example, I'm telling you, so please sign on these documents. It's a very basic document, so and so, blah, blah, blah. I sign on the documents. I don't know whether it's correct or wrong. Because of a biasness, I know him personally. Then it is not considered as an audit. It should be an unbiased examination. कोई भी लाग भागी नहीं चलेगी. And evaluation of the financial statements in an organization. So, sir, only financial statements is considered for an audit? No. But since we are talking about financial frauds and forensic accounting, I'm going to discuss this thing. Is anything, friends, anything where you are reviewing the things, you are verifying and validating the things is considered as an audit. The session was bound to open or to start at 11 a.m. People have to join over there. If there is an audit trail in this software, and if they see that people have to attend this session, how many have attended, how many have not attended, he takes out the report and he justifies that with an unbiased examination and evaluation, it can be considered as an audit, friends. Let's move further. Now the second part, what is meant by forensic? I'm not going to take much more time. If anyone knows, please reply me within 10 seconds, friends. What do you think is meant by forensic? Anyone? I said कि मैं अकेला बोलूंगा ऐसा नहीं. I am not going to speak up alone. I am going to ask you, friends, because it's a super machine you have, but sometimes it doesn't get a servicing. And my work, as they have invited me to service your brain. Anyone, friends? Okay, 10 seconds over. Assisting court of law and law enforcement agency by the scientific knowledge. Superb. Sumukh Prakash, it's a taken investigation. Okay, it's a thing which has been taken from Google. I can understand that, but now we'll try. I don't have any issue. You are applying your mind. That's the most important thing. Sumukh, most important thing, if this is discipline of scientific discipline which jurisdiction, great, anything which includes investigation, detailed checking, and which can be present in the court of law is called forensic. Let's see in the easiest manner. It is an investigation used to gather facts or evidence to disclose in a court of law. Please note, my work is to gather facts and evidence. Means I have to evaluate on that part, and it's a kind of an investigation and which can be disclosed in the court of law. Now, what is meant by forensic audit? Let's check this. Forensic audit is an examination and evaluation of individuals or companies' financial information for use as evidence in the court of law. What is it, friend? Forensic audit is an examination and evaluation of individuals or the company's financial information for use as an evidence in the court of law. Moving further, what's the difference between forensic audit and other audits? Other audits, as we said, are conducted in order to provide an opinion on the given financial data of the company. The report of such audits are generally not used as an evidence in the court of law. And जो बोलते हैं ना, this Muslim हाजिर हो in the court. So at that point of time, sorry, at that point of time, these audits documents are used as a secondary data and not the primary data, because it provides you a true and fair view. But forensic audit is an examination and evaluation of individuals or a company's financial information for use as a evidence in the court of law, which is used in a primary data. There are two kind of documents, friends. Please note. पहला है primary, second है secondary. जहां पे मैं बिल्कुल विश्वास करता हूं कि ये documents are right or wrong. It means my opinion is created on the primary on that document. It's called a primary document. Then forensic accounting documents are applicable for that in the court of law. But to check something, to validate something, I am using some other documents as their support. That is called secondary documents. So this is the most important difference between both. Moving further, friends, how this investigation takes place. बहुत easy मैं आपको पहले से बता रहा हूँ, friends. Please check. It starts with discover, analyze, and then reporting. Discover means finding evidence of a financial crime. Again, the daya will come and it will say, कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. So you have to discover that thing. Then analyze that thing. Means determining what was done and how. क्या हुआ था उस दिन सोचो और कैसे किया गया था. Just think on that part. And the third and most important thing is reporting, that laying out the case for authorities. Means we have to prepare a report for that. When this forensic accounting has started working, friends, if you are looking on that part, the forensic accounting was not formally defined until the 1940s. तो उसके पहले की forensic accounting था नहीं. The name was not given in the world with this. Investigation is always there since beginning. Originally, Frank Wilson is credited with the birth of forensic accounting in the 1930s. When Wilson was working as a CPA for the US Internal Revenue Service, means IRS officer was there. He was assigned to investigate the transactions of the infamous gangster named A.I. Capone. So if anyone asks you, क्या अभी से start हुआ है forensic accounting? You have to say no. बहुत सालों अरसों की पहले की बात है कि there was this case of forensic accounting. What about India, friends? India में पहले से ही था. We will discuss that thing in a quick way. What is the need of forensic audit? And going over there, let's discuss a small case study. Have you heard the name of Satyam? In the year 2008, there was, I would say, a big fraud in financial fraud, which was the biggest in the India at least. and that is called a Satyam fraud, financial fraud, which was something 9,000 crores and which ran for almost 14 years. And even one of the big four CA firm, that is PwC, was suspended because of that. And after this thing, friends, after this thing, so the chances or the starting of forensic audit have came into picture. Hope you can understand what I am going to tell you, friends. Talking about this means 2008-9 से इंडिया में फॉरेंसिक अकाउंटिंग और ऑडिट की बात होने लगी है. तो पहले भी था, कंपनी लॉ में इन्वेस्टिगेशन की बात थी, but talking them as a forensic accounting was not there. So what is the need of that? Friends, we all know modern business are bound to find cleverly the masked, means जो दिखता नहीं है, बहरूपिया, fraudulent activity when they go through their books, but only when forensic auditor finds such evidence. How many knows that tomorrow India is going to win in World Cup? Are you sure whether India is going to win or not tomorrow's World Cup? Many few people knows that. But if we are going to a bookie market, means a person who is doing a betting, मैं ड्रीम 11 वाली बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ, वो तो है, that is the basic thing, friends. But actual where the bookies are there, so they must be knowing who is going to win, who is going to lose. And even I have experienced such a people who knows that now what will happen in the next 10 overs, how much Virat Kohli is going to make, how much wicket Sami will take, and this is called a clearly masked fraudulent activities they are doing. And a forensic auditor comes into picture when they find such evidence that there is some mischief going on or manipulation is going on. And even growing cyber crimes, failure of regulators to track the security scams, series of cooperative banks busting. We have seen this PMS Bank is there, Madhupura Cooperative Bank, many banks are now busting like energy. All are pinpointing there is a need of a forensic audit. They can ensure the integrity and transparency of the financial statements by actively investigation for fraud and can help to create a positive working environment. Friends, just think there is a bank, you came to know there was a famous case study of ICICI Bank. It is one of the largest bank of India, we all know. तीन चार बैंक का नाम लो प्राइवेट बैंक का, you will say sir HDFC, ICICI, Axis Bank, IndusInd Bank, and now IDFC is coming into picture, AU Bank is coming into picture, but people remember the name of ICICI Bank. People trust blindly. But when the Videocon case happens and the CEO of company was sacked, that is Chanda Kochar. So there was a huge line before all the bank branches. People went to take out their hard-earned money, even to withdraw the FDs and all these things. We know that all these banks are safe. RBI have not taken any harsh action, and it is a part of a play. But once such a thing happens, people soak up, and then the role of a forensic auditor comes into picture. And so by helping companies to prevent and detect frauds, the forensic auditors can help to establish a comprehensive corporate governance policy for the company. What is its scope? Friends, its nature, type of frauds in India. The Reserve Bank of India, the father of all the banks, I would say. The Apex Bank has compulsorily make forensic accounting audit mandatory for all the banks. And friends, then you will ask, sir, is there any future for this thing? It has a very bright future, friends. Now there is a special university that is called a NFSU, National Forensic Science University. There's even another university that is called a RRU, Rashtriya Raksha Shakti University, which specified and focuses specified on forensic, and it has various limbs, and even forensic accounting is one of its part. And even if you have done any such courses, it has a very bright future. I'm going to discuss all the options, what salary or package you can get in that, and all these things at the end, because picture abhi baki hai mere to. Talking further, friends, even there's an establishment of the SFIO, that is Serious Fraud Investigation Office in India, which has become the turning point for what? For forensic accountants. What are the scope? If you're discussing on all these things, what are the scopes for forensic? Friends, if you're talking about the same, there are various scopes. I have enumerated few of them. Let's say one thing comes is a due diligence and merger and acquisition. Let's say if you want to do any business with someone and you don't know them, or there is some takeover of something for some company. So what happens at that time? You will do a due diligence. आप उसकी inquiry करोगे from various sources and all these things. So that was there, and even for merger and acquisition, it is required. Second, someone was caught in a bribery. So what has happened at that time? So for anti-bribery and anti-corruption, this is required. Fraud risk and NPA assessment, whether fraud has been conducted or not, or is there any non-performing assets, means there was a bad debts for the bank. So for that NPA assessment, it has been conducted a forensic audit. I would say any fraud has taken place. So for fraud investigation, forensic technology, whistleblowing. Friends, do you know what is meant by whistleblowing? Anyone? Anyone who can help me with that? What is meant by whistleblowing? Who can tell me what is meant by whistleblowing? Yes, I'm getting some reply. Dilip Negi reporting the fraud. Okay. Alert, something is gonna be wrong. Okay, great, Achal. I'm really appreciated all the parties who are now replying in a very beautiful manner, friends. Anything else? Now, to get hint that something phishing has happening. Wow, superb. Great, Kiran. When you're talking about the same, disclosing of secret information. Wow, superb, Sifaji. When I'm discussing all these, friends, let's have a very easy way. And if you want to learn in the easiest manner all these concepts, I will give you even a free gift at the end of this session, which can enhance your knowledge when you're sitting anywhere, friends. When talking about the same whistleblowing, in the easiest manner, whistle means city and blowing means marna. Means someone is na city marna koi in Hindi language, I'm telling. That is called a whistleblowing. A very layman language if he's considering that. When we're talking about the same, friends, just understand that agar koi city mar gaye, someone is blowing the whistle, your mind and your focus will divert on him. The same way in corporates, if something wrong is happening, and if anywhere something wrong is happening, so the person who is, yes, superb, Dilipji, drawing attention. So the person who is insider, it can be employee, it can be from a promoter, he draw attention of the people of for that side. Let's say everyone is sitting over here, and coincidentally, I would say, someone starts its audio and he used to sing a song or start to chant, India jitega, India jitega. I am sure these 45 people, including me, will focus on him and not on the lecture initially. That is a whistleblowing example I'm telling you. People will draw attention. Whether it's a right or wrong, people don't know. And in this whistleblowing, friends, it is seen that if it is happening in for any big corporates, the share value of these companies falls down. There was a very fantastic example right now. Whether all the whistleblowing is correct or not is a separate thing, please note. And it is seen and it has been noticed nowadays that this whistleblowing, when it is taking place in India, it has happened within 6 or 7 months only. Before 6 to 7 months, that some foreigners have conducted that on some company, and the shares of that company have started to tumble, and it has fallen with more than 50 to 80%. Can anyone tell me the name of that group and who the person, a perpetrator of this whistleblowing? Yes, Kiranji, you are right with that. And whether how much correct was there in this thing, the time will inform that. But since I know the management personally, and even I know the group, they are doing a hard work. And who the person who did this whistleblowing? Anyone who can inform me of that, so that now it will be quite more interesting, friends? Anyone? Very well it is said, friends, कि फ्रॉड हुआ था, ये सब हुआ था. काका पूरे मोटो फोटो मोटो. When we are talking, friends, the person, wow, super Virenji, clap for you, friends. Hindenburg. It's not Hindenburg, it's Hindenburg. And yes, friend, he did the same. If you are doing a forensic of that report, you will come to know that even the things he have mentioned was not wrong every time. I'm not saying that the report was wrong, but actually the thing was that he have accumulated all the documents which was already there in some social media platform, something like that. And the next comes is a litigation support. If there is any litigation in any court which is going on, I would say, let's say any case is going on. It can be a marital status case, a divorce case, or some brothers dispute is there, or some corporate taxes are there. And in that, there is support required, that whether the fraud has happened or not and what mischief has taken place. So in that, even scope of forensic is very much helpful, friends. So we have discussed over here, friends. Moving further, forensic accounting helps in detecting what? First, tax evasion, identity theft of a person. जो दिखता है वो होता है, जो होता है वो दिखता नहीं है. For that one, it is helpful. Fraud in insurance claims. You will see, friends, there are many insurance claims where fraud is happening. Actually, the claim was not there, but people perpetuate that thing. Most claim or something like that. Even I'm talking about the big claims and not the small one. Financial frauds, embezzlement of the things, organized crime and money laundering, terror financing, hidden assets during divorce proceedings, I would say, product liability claims, securities fraud, fraud in financial reporting, most important thing, and assisting in legal proceedings. In all these things, whether fraud has happened or not, this forensic accounting is going to help in detecting. तो सर सिर्फ डिटेक्ट करने में काम आता है? No. There are three kinds: prevention, detection, and correction. Correction उसका उतना काम नहीं है, but prevention के लिए and detection के लिए काम आ सकता है this thing. And when we are talking about forensic accounting or forensic audit, only one thing that comes into our mind and which you see it as a drawing attention, that is called a red flag. Red flag, लाल झंडा. Why there is a red flag in a traffic signal? Why the person who is a station master in railway, he used to put a red flag, he used to flag this thing and train stops. And why there's a green signal where people can go? So red flag means be alert. There can be some wrong. And in forensic accounting, this red flag makes an impact. Please note, friends. Fraud component in forensic audit. A forensic audit mainly focuses on fraud detection. So it is very important to understand fraud before we understand forensic audit. What is fraud? Fraud refers to an intentional act. Please note, friends, the act is intentional by one or more individuals among the management. There is a famous quote of Ramayana. You may have watched the movie Adi Purush, which depicts and which was a disputed movie that Ramayana cannot be like this. But if you are keeping the things aside, the old Ramayana, you will find it beautifully crafted movie. There can be some mistake, but showing the Ramayana in that 3 hours is really a difficult task for the director and producer, what I believe. And it has been shown very beautifully. So there was 2 special characters. One was Ravan. Second is Bhagwan Ram. And why Ravan died? Because Vibhishan, the brother of Ravan, come into assistance of Ram, and he said कि अगर आप उनके नाभि पे तीर मारोगे तो ही ये मरेगा, नहीं तो नहीं मरेगा. And so there's a famous quote which is said, Ghar ka bhedi, Lanka dhai. And this is the most important thing, friends. If any fraud is happening, please note there only 2% chance that any outsider is going to make a fraud with you. Normally, an insider means one or more individuals among management or those charged with the corporate governance, employees, or third party who knows you, involving in the use of deception to obtain an unjust or illegal advantage. What are the notable points in this? Intentional act, the act is intentional. Those charged with the governance, those has that authority. Third party, deception, and unjust advantage. So all these 5 points are important when talking about fraud. Moving further, friends, what are the profile of the fraudsters? Sir, what do you believe? These fraudsters have this horn or something written in their head like a Karan Arjun movie or something like that? No. But due to some symptoms or trait of them, you may understand that yes, Daya kuch to, waiting someone to write in that. Daya kuch to. Moving further, that a fraud sick person generally shows the following symptoms. He may be experiencing financial difficulties. पैसों की तंगी है उसको. Usually close association with the vendors or customers. He have very good contacts and it's an unusual close association with them. He's or she's doing a party with them. They are moving like anything. He have arranged some special party with everyone. Everything is different. Excessive work pressure is there. Control issues or unwillingness to share its duties. And even it may have a complaint about the pay. मुझे ही कम पैसे मिलते हैं. फर्म में सबको ज्यादा पैसे मिलते हैं. Only I am getting the less pay. Others are getting very good pay. If such a thing happens, friends, so there can be chance that it can be fraudster. It is said that what is the maximum age of the fraudster where he used to conduct a fraud? It's only a survey taken from some website. Friends, you will say that a person who is of 18 to 25 years old conducts only 1% of the fraud. I'm talking about the big fraud. I'm not telling you, sir, इसने मेरा homework चुरा लिया. Sir, he have now has taken my book and now have torn my homework pages. Not talking about the same. I'm talking about the serious financial frauds. Kindly note, friends. So when a person is of 18 to 25 years of age, he doesn't know about the financials. Please note, he may have completed his post-graduation studies or some professional courses. So there are less chances that he's going to conduct fraud. And then in this age or after this age, he used to marry, he have their kids, and now the pressure start to build up in their mind, not because of marriage, but the responsibility which comes over there. So between 26 to 35 years of age, there's a 14% chances the fraud is going to happen. And then comes a picture of a 36 to 45 years of age. It's a very critical age, friends, because person have to now think even for their kids' future, their parents' future, their own future, and have a different pressures and different thing on that part. And now even he's matured enough to know the nitty-gritty. People understand him as a big person. And now in many companies at this age, please note, people have that authority. And so the highest fraud happens at the age between 36 to 45 and at the age of 46 to 55%. You will find that these two age covers you 68% of the fraud ratio. And then after age of 55 years, the person is already aged. Please note, friends, the person is already aged. Now there's a time of a retirement for him. And now he will think, अभी जेल में कौन जाएगा, अपनी बेइज्जती कौन करवाएगा. So now the chances of fraud again reduce to 8% after that. And you will find after 60 or 65 years of age, there again a 1% chance. Hope you're getting me. I'm going in a good manner, friends, or something need to change in my teaching way right now. My discussion, I would say, not a teaching. Now a nice concept that is called a fraud triangle. And when I'm talking about fraud triangle, people are like this juju only, who are thinking, ye kya baat ho rahi hai? What the sir is talking about? Fraud triangle, what is this? But friends, when you're talking about this, a very important, very much important case law, I would say, when we're talking about forensic, and it's a fraud triangle, friends. A fraud triangle is a tool which is used in forensic auditing that explains three interrelated elements that assist the commission of fraud. I'm not going to discuss much more detail. I will show you the easy way to check that thing. But since that there is a paucity of time, so first is a pressure, that is called a motive. If a person has any kind of pressure or motive, he will conduct a fraud, or at least he will try to conduct a fraud. So what is this pressure means? Addiction. I have lost in some betting. जुआ खेला वर्ल्ड कप फाइनल में, दोस्त ने बोला अरे देख इंडिया 10 मैच जीत गई है, अनबीटन। 1983 में सेमीफाइनल में जो टीम सबसे नंबर पे 1 पे थी, that was India, and it won World Cup. The same way, the team which was even in 2011 was at the topmost table in semi-final. It won. Again, India is in the topmost position. जीतेगा भाई जीतेगा, India ही जीतेगा. You will see that now they are, because even I am one of them who is crazy about cricket, friends, and even I'm going to watch the match at Narendra Modi Stadium, friends. So when we're cheering up of that, people think Narendra Modi is going to come over there. There will be even Australian president will be there. So India is going to win. Friends, it's a cricket. We don't know what is going to happen. We can only do cheer up for our team. That's it. But when talking about this thing, friends, kindly note one or two things which I want to discuss with you all. That in all this motivation in a positive or negative manner, people are going to, I am not going to say invest, but to play dirty games like Dream 11 and all these things. And sometimes people, what they think, आज पैसा लगाऊंगा कल डबल. डबल तो 21 दिन में भी हेरा फेरी मूवी में नहीं हुआ था, तो एक दिन में कैसे हो पाएगा? That is only called a fluke and not even luck, I would say. And when he invests over there, and then if the result is negative, and I always ask कि दोस्त और भगवान उसको नेगेटिव ही करना पहली बार में रिजल्ट, else it becomes an addiction if the result is positive. But if the result is negative, it's a good for them. And at that time, with that pressure, if the result comes a negative one, he starts to chance or make a fraud. Second is an ability to carry out the fraud. If I give you a chance, if let's say you are in some classes or in some office and the timing is 9 a.m. in the morning, the reporting time is, and you know you are coming to office every day because your boss is coming at 8:45 a.m. and so anyhow you have to reach at office. But you get an opportunity that your boss have gone or have went for a Diwali vacation and he's going to come from 1st of December. And now you are the Apunish Bhagwan, you are feeling. And then put your right hand on your left side of your chest, that is your heart, and tell honestly. And I want to reply in a chat box, friends. बहुत देर से वो सुना सुना पड़ा है. And kindly guide me. What do you think, friends? How many % chance is there you in your office at same 9 a.m. or you can be even late? I need an honest reply, at least for 3 people. If your boss is not there in your office and no one is there to look at you, you got an opportunity to get late for at least 10 days, 10 to 12 days, because he's going to come from 1st December. And since he's outside India, कोई connection नहीं है, कुछ भी नहीं है, अब तो अपुनिश भगवान है. Are you going to report in your office on a regular basis or sometimes late चलता है? I'm waiting for that, friends. Kindly reply. In the same way, if there is some cashier or some person is there who has all the authority and someone is not looking or boss is not checking that thing, so even there is a chance of a fraud. And the third and most important thing is a rationalization. Means just I'm waiting for reply, no one have replied. किसी को नहीं बताऊंगा, you can reply, friends. Third one is a rationalization, that is justification of doing an honest thing. Dilip ji, clap for you. To be frank, I'm not going to be reporting on a daily basis because it's a psychology and human tendency that if you're getting an opportunity and it's not a fraud, to be frank, getting late. So people tends to make a delay sometimes because it's a psychology impact with people. But really clap for you, sir. That's why that is justification of a dishonest intention. How many of you have watched the movie Dawn, an older movie, जहाँ पे जो हीरो होता है वो एक्चुअल में रियल स्क्रीन लाइफ में तो विलन होता है. मीन्स इन डॉन शाहरुख खान was a hero in the new movie, and in the older part Amitabh was a hero, but in a movie he was a don doing a negative things. But what he used to say, क्या गलत कर रहा हूँ, आई एम हेल्पिंग द पीपल हु आर नीडी. अमीर से लेके गरीब को पैसे दे रहा हूँ, कोई गलत नहीं है. When he have such a justification in some company, some senior employee was there who was not getting updated every time, and a company have appointed some new person over there, and then this old person who was there and he's unable to work on a basic new person was working very good and his salary was higher. So the old person who is the senior most person in that company, since his salary was low, he started to make a fraud. And when police and the officer caught him, then he said, मैंने 20 साल ये कंपनी में इतनी मेहनत की and now they are appointing someone else and taking over my work. So that 20 years experience work, I'm getting my sharing by doing a fraud. How much justification is that? It's a wrong thing. So 3 parts, friends: pressure, opportunity, and rationalization. Moving further, the same way it is showing, you can see that pressure, greed, addictions, poor credit rating of cash management, work pressure, dissatisfaction with pay, overlook from promotion. Let's say there are many banking industries जहाँ पे बोलते हैं, if you have watched that movie Rocket Singh, पॉकेट में रॉकेट है, so in that there is a work pressure. आपको आज के दिन में 10 क्रेडिट कार्ड बेचना है, मरता क्या नहीं करता. He is going to do some mischief. If I give a target that you have to complete or achieve at least 10 credit card in a day, then operation weak internal control in a company, ineffective monitoring of controls and asset susceptible to fraud, and the resolution that is I will pay it back, I deserve a pay raise, and it's for a good purpose. The same thing is there. I'm not going to discuss much more, friends. Yes, coming over here, that is stakeholders. What is meant by stakeholders? The person who are connected with that. That is called a fraud stakeholders. And who are the people over there? Most important point, friends, please kindly note. If any company has a fraud or any fraud has been conducted in the company, these are the people and organization which is going to affect a lot. First is a creditors. Second, institution or a business. Financial institutions and intermediaries. Means a person who have given a loan, who have taken a loan, who are working with them closely. Local government. Sir, government को कैसे मुश्किल होगी? Obvious thing. Let's see if any day you come to hear the news that Adani, Ambani, or Tata is bankrupt. What happened? Even the goodwill of the government, because they are one of the precious businessmen of India, and not even in India, in the world. And if they get bankrupt, the value, the goodwill of our whole India is going to make a dirty on that part. And even many stakeholders is going to get out. Can you understand, or do you think how much amount of tax is paid with by all these people? Superb. Please note that thing. Stock market, and then the last one is the investor of that. All these are called as stakeholders. Now, how you can conduct a fraud? Please note, I am talking on a financial basis, and there are many ways. Even cybercrime methods are there. I'm just here to guide you. Please note that. Talking about that, friends, fictitious income. The income is actually not there, but showing that in the wrong way. Improper expense recognition. The expense I am showing, which is actually I haven't spent it, I haven't expended that thing, but I'm showing in that books of accounts. Or I have an expense which is a direct expense, I'm showing it is an indirect expense or something like that. Why? To adjust a profit, I would say. Why to adjust a profit? To save or pay more tax. So sometimes it is all I'm going to tell you or guide you in the later stage that when we are doing a forensic, how to conduct the same. Incorrect assets or liabilities valuation. The valuation is there, but incorrect is there. Hidden liabilities and secret reserves are there, friends. What's that, friends? That there is always a hidden liabilities and secret reserves are there for all these things, friends. Moving further, unsuitable disclosure of many things are there. The thing which a person need to disclose is not disclosed in a proper manner. Deception, such as manipulation. Please mark the difference of all these things, friends. Manipulation, falsification, or alteration of accounting records or supporting documents. Very much important, friends, all these things. Then doing a misrepresentation in or intentional omission from the financial statements, significant events, transactions, or the information. And now when you're talking about this thing, have you watched that famous movie? Have you watched that famous movie, friends? That is called, friends, Scam 1992 and now Scam 2003. Harshad Mehta case and Abdul Tilgi. You'll find this thing very beautifully. And the last one is intentional misapplication of accounting principles. We know that accounting standard says that you have to follow in Indian accounting standard 2. Mostly your method should be first in, first out method. But because of doing a manipulation, you have started with the last in, first out. What are the major types of financial frauds if you're talking, friends? Major types of financial frauds are, friends, starting from here, theft of assets. People are doing theft of assets of the things. False expense are there, expense which are doing in a false way. Then there comes corruption is there, and which is a real, I would say, a negative thing in the India at least, where there is a corruption of very severe way, I would say. Then comes theft of information. If someone just think doing an information theft, which is a very, very serious offense, friends, please note. Application, fraudulent application. Have you heard about the PUBG? Have you heard about many applications which are taking your information? Thing that is called fraudulent applications. Misuse of assets. There's a difference between theft of assets and chori karna and usko misuse karna. There's a difference, please note. Dishonest business partners. The business partner is there in a company and which is actually a dishonest one. And then comes, friend, without this is a fraudulent billing. So all these things, friends, all these things show you on this part that there is a loss of revenue for a company. What are the techniques? If we are talking, friends, so what are the techniques which is considered for doing these frauds? When we're talking about the same, friends, so there are two types of techniques which can help you in detecting the financial frauds. The first one is a statistical data analysis. And you may have heard about now the most famous things, that is artificial intelligence. Not going to discuss in a detailed manner because there is a paucity of time. We already now only have half an hour with us. But talking about the same, friends, so there is something that is called statistical data analysis. In that, statistical parameter calculation, probability distribution in models, regression analysis, and data matching. Talking about artificial intelligence, that is called a data mining. Neural networks means which talks about a psychology impact. Machine learning, pattern recognition. What is this pattern recognition? Let's see if I have some finances with me. I have to whether their fraud has conducted or not. I will put the 5 years financials data together and put it in Excel and compare that thing and we'll check the pattern whether the gross profit of a company was, let's say, 8%, and now after 3 years, it comes to 5%. And in some year, it comes to 20%. So I can recognize the pattern that there can be some red flag. कि दया कुछ तो गड़बड़ है was already there in this two company. Hope am I clear, friends, or not? सबको जग रहे हैं ना? Thanks, Dilip ji. Thank you, Kiran ji. And machine learning की बात करें, then there comes two things: supervised learning and unsupervised learning. There's a famous case study of Punjab National Bank, and the amount was only 11,400 crores only. What happened, if you can remember, there's a famous case in the year 2019, approx 18-19, and specific on 29 Jan 2018, this fraud came into picture. There's a famous dweller which is called as a Nirav Modi and his partner, Mehul Choksi. I always say Nemo and Mecho. We have approaches PNB Bank and asked for a letter of undertaking at this LOU. What is LOU? LOU is something if you are importing something or exporting something, let's say importing something from outside India, and so that company will say, how can I trust you? I will send goods, but I need the advance money. You say, how can I trust you? If I'm giving you a guarantee or undertaking of, if I'm giving you my money, and if you flew away, then there is an MOU or an understanding between both the people, a mutual understanding that you approach your bank, that foreign countries will tell me that you approach your bank and tell them to give me an undertaking or guarantee to my bank over here. If they both will agree, I'm going to send you a goods and you repay me money after looking at that. That is called a letter of undertaking. And the same has happened. And in PNB case, LOU have been issued by the branch officers through SWIFT. What is SWIFT? हमने बात सुना है RTGS, NEFT, IMPS. The same way, if you want to conduct a foreign countries transactions, then if you want to repay any money or not take back any money through banking channels, SWIFT is required, which is a 21 or 24 digit character, which is, I would say, alphanumeric one, and the whole transactions of millions and crores of rupees transact through this only, and without the approval of the competent authorities and the necessary documents of import. Not knowing that Nirav Modi or his credit history, the overseas bank extends the credit based entirely on PNB's LOU. The money was not paid by Nirav Modi, and by rolling over the credit, he has ensured that subsequent LOUs repaid the dues on the earlier LOUs. Means what this he did? Layering. पहला लोन चुका नहीं, उसके पहले दूसरा लोन ज्यादा ले लिया. Even the previous loan was not repaid full, he have taken the other loan, and this scam was worth rupees 14,000 crores. And when it comes to public, PNB is considered the second largest bank of India, public sector bank after SBI, and the share price of it was running approx more than 100 rupees, has fallen down to approx 30 to 40 rupees only. And later the BDO India, the big five firm, top five firm, audit firm of India, was hired to carry out forensic audit and uncover the truth of money rolling. I have told you about this case study, already discussed initially, about Satyam scam 2009. Mr. B. Ramalinga Raju, who was the founder and CEO of the company, he have created false invoice to show the inflated sales. Sales बढ़ाने के लिए उसने false invoice बनाए and even inflated artificially the company's revenue. He forged the illegal way, and he even forged the board of resolutions of the other directors, and he was shipping money to offshore accounts and tax haven and bring back that thing. That is called money laundering, friends. Mr. Raju and others on this inside offloaded worthless stocks and participated in insider trading. And even the statute of the firm, as I said, the big four firm, one of them is PwC India. It was found guilty, and one of the CA, one or two CA have been suspended for this, for that time. And it has happened that some strict action has been taken by some on some chartered accountant after this thing, and even for the first time on some big four firm, and disclosed that there was a fraud of 7,000 crores and came to know in the year Jan 7, 2009. Friend, you will find one coincidence. Let me tell you. Here the fraud came into picture on Jan 29, 2018. Here it came to know in even again in the month of Jan. Just a coincidence, I'm telling you, friends. and it was a biggest accounting fraud of that time, which covered to be 7,000 crores of frauds, and which ran off almost of the Vanvas period. That is called this Vanvas, or I would say Ramayana period, that is 14 years, and gained recognition to forensic accounting as the profession. Satyam share price have fallen to rupees 11.5 compared to its previous height of rupees 544 rupees. Just think friends, if such a thing happens na, इंसान उठता नहीं, उठ जाता है. And actually such a things happens at that time, friends. This is again a famous case study of a ABG CPAT case study. I'm not discussing much more right now for these friends. Else na I cannot complete the things within time. Now, talking further, there's a forensic audit methodology are there. It involves efforts to resolve allegations or signs of a fraud when the full facts are not known or it is unclear. Therefore, it seeks to obtain facts and evidence to help establish what happened, to identify the responsible party who have conducted the fraud, and provide recommendations where it is applicable. We should adopt such methods which enable us to find supportive evidences for our audit findings. Moving further, I have told you that I will guide you how to do forensic audit. सबसे पहले आपको ये सोचना है, what is this? पहला, same thing, दया, कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. And after this thing, friends, you don't have to think on the only a single side, but a multiple. As I have started the session with that only, remember that image of two books were kept, forensic audit was written, that people have a thinking capacity, and if you want to become an investigator, a forensic auditor, you should think in a different area with different set of minds. आपको हर बार अलग अलग कैप पहननी है. पहली बार मुझे फ्रॉड करने वाले की कैप पहननी है, अगर ये फ्रॉड मैं करता तो कैसे करता. अब इन्वेस्टिगेटर की कैप पहननी है, एक आम इंसान की कैप पहननी है. So you have to do a different thing on different part, friends. While conducting the forensic audit to resolve signs or allegations of a fraud, the forensic auditor should always check, starting with that he will assume that litigation will follow. That litigation to hona hi hai. Second, he will always act on prediction. That क्या हो सकता है, क्या नहीं. Third, approach cases from at least from two perspective, not the one, but at least he will check the cases with at least two perspective. He will move from general to specific. मैंने सोचा 5 तरीके से फ्रॉड होगा एंड बहुत सारी चीजें मेरे पास में दिखने के लिए. अब मैं हर चीज सोचने जाऊंगा, कभी नहीं होगा फ्रेंड्स. I have to do from general to the specific one. Use the fraud theory approach, analyzing and testing of data, and at the end, communicating the results. What are the fraud methods and procedures? First is the data analysis. Data analysis is the core idea. What are the softwares we can use? You can use CAAT, computer assisted analytical techniques, the Excel, where you can use conditional formatting, you can use if formula, you can use advanced formula, you can use this VLOOKUP, Pivot, all these things, and even the advanced version of that is going to help you. Analytical procedures are there. Risk assessment, how much risk is there? Let's say if there is a fraud in a company of, let's say 9,000 crores or 7,000 crores, and you have been hired for that company for doing a work, and you are doing a work, but you have find some frauds, and later it came to know that it's of something 50,000 rupees only. So whether that is required in a 7,000 crores of fraud, this 50,000 rupees of fraud searching is valuable or not? What do you think, friends? I want its reply. that in a fraud of 7,000 crores, you have searched a fraud of 50,000 rupees only. And there's a manipulation of that amount. It's a worth or not? Friends, I want a reply. Yes or no? तभी चालू करेंगे अपने. Sir, due respect to all your comments, worth it, sir, yes. Sir, do you think whether it is going to make any financial impact on your report or your case? When we're discussing about 7,000 crores, I told you, go and clean the whole ocean and you bring a one bowl of such a thing and it is going to make an impact. Nothing. Fraud is fraud, not anything wrong in that, but the quantum, the monetary concepts even make a picture. When we are discussing about 7,000 crores of rupees of fraud and we're discussing only 50,000 rupees, not even a 0.1%. So it is not going to make an impact, please note, friends. So making a risk impact to assess the risk is the most important thing, kindly note. Moving further, inspection, observation. There's a difference between inspection and observation. You inspect something, the people maybe they may not be there, but when someone is doing something and there is some observation, conducting some procedure or doing something, you used to observe that thing. And जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. When you observe the things, you will come to know that whether this thing has happened or not. External confirmation from third party. You will see that now many times at the time of audit, many auditors ask you for the confirmation. Please make a balanced confirmation. Then comes a recalculation of the things. Even a re-performance of any procedure may help you in forensic accounting. Inquiry of something, interviews, and the most important thing is an interrogation. Friends, I assure you, if it's a seminar and you all are sitting with me, I start doing interrogation with someone, मुश्किल होती है थोड़ी. And I can show you how the interrogation plays a major role in that. Important forensic audit techniques are, friends, statistical and mathematical techniques, which means trend analysis. Trend is the same thing, means checking the flow of last 5 or 10 years, careful review of the historical norms and investigating the trend deviations. Typical trend lines for analysis of financial statements are for revenues, gross margin, net profit margin, accounts receivables, and debt. Ratio analysis, most important thing. जब आपको मैंने बोला 50,000 रुपए का fraud, I have told you about 50,000 fraud. Who said fraud is fraud? But when you are going to compare the same thing with the ratio analysis, you will come that the margin and the quantum is very much low. So this is that is not important. When we check the ratio, it is a relative magnitude of two selected numerical values taken from an enterprise financial statements. Most relevant for ratio analysis is gross margin and sales growth, price to book and price earning ratio, that is PB upon PE ratio, return on assets and return on equity, current ratios, and quality of earning and effective cash tax rate. Moving further, friends, there are some techniques which are technology based or digital forensic accounting techniques. As I said, CAAT, that is computer aided audit techniques, that is used for analyzing of the large data. Data mining, one of the most important thing. Test of reasonableness in analytical procedures. Off balance sheet transactions are there, transactions which is called as off balance sheet transactions. Important forensic accounting techniques are falling off, which are the, we can see that is analytical procedures we have to taken care. जहाँ पे red flag में कि दया कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. Falling of stock prices on a market and increase of short selling activities of the company. Resignation of some senior personnel. Friends, latest news in OpenAI, that is artificial intelligence, the CFO of that company has been sacked. Mr. Name was some Sam or something like that, and some other have been appointed. And when such a resignation takes place, something happens. there is something that दया कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. Selling of large number of shares by promoters or company officers and major trading house with some insider information and trading using complicated disclosure accounting practices. It is said by Warren Buffett and his colleague. अगर मेरे अकाउंट्स एक 6 साल के बच्चे को भी समझ में आए तो वो अकाउंट्स है, एल्स वो मैनिपुलेशन हो सकता है. Audit fees are very much less and heavy raw material which should be transported in some big trucks are transported in some lorries or some small vehicles. This is a Benford law, very beautiful law. It's a magical law, I always say. So why magical laws? It says that whether the numbers are genuine or not will be understood with this some probability distribution and see this chart. It says that number one comes by 30% approximately. जब भी आप अगर set of data लोगे and you apply this Benford law, you will see that now one number coming in the front. Let's say 1011, 1150, 110, 1 rupees, 10 rupees, 15, 17. There's a probability of a 30% to come. Number two, something 17%. Number three, which comes for, I would say, number three comes for approximately 13%. Number four, 9%, like this. And 9 number has the least probability of coming. And it has been prepared with the help of some psychological impact. Let's say an organizer has alert threshold set that 500 रुपए और 1000 रुपए से ऊपर आपका power नहीं, cannot use money more than that. So you will say that bookkeeper has been writing wrong checks of 499, which is lesser than 500, and 999, which is lesser than 1000. Friends, you will find the same example under Income Tax Act, where section 40A3 says that you cannot pay in a single day to a single person more than rupees 10,000 in cash. So people used to prepare vouchers of 9,080, 9,500, 9,990. So the impact of Benford law will signify over there in the books of accounts of a company. Investigation of an improper related party activity. As said earlier with the example of Mr. Vaibhav, that related party transactions or activities are there, जहाँ पे अगर किसी को जानते हैं, if I'm knowing someone, so their chances of doing an improper activity are higher compared to other parties, and investigation of that is required to take place, friends. Please note. What are the example of that? Friends, examples are purchase of major raw materials from one party or a single group of companies. Sale or purchase to a party are higher than the arm's length price. Accounts receivable is pending from a long time and no strict measures taken by the management for its recovery, and repetitive purchase of one company's stock even if prices are declining. What are the standards from forensic audit? You will find that ICAI, my alma mater, that is Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, have launched a forensic accounting and investigation standards amidst rising cases of accounting, financial and loan irregularities, and currently they have been made applicable from 1st July 2023 in full-fledged. And you will see the comparison, the Indian accounting which is 41, standard for on auditing standards which is 51, but forensic accounting standard is only 24. And if you want to read, you will get its soft copy, and it is only of something 125 or 150 pages, not more than that. What are these FIS or audit norms? It has been segregated in 7 concepts: overarching documents, key concepts, engagement management, executive assignments, specialized areas, reporting, and qualification quality. You will find that starting is a very basic preface, framework, basic principles. Then comes what is the nature of assignment, how much fraud risk is there, what are the laws and regulations related to that, and how I can apply my hypothesis. Means daya kuch to gadbad hai. Then what is my engagement objectives, what are the engagement acceptance and appointment for that, using the work of an expert, whether if I'm not expert in that field, whether I can appoint someone else for that thing, and what will be my risk and that person's risk is guided in that. Engaging with some agencies, communication with the stakeholders, how the forensic accountant can communicate with the stakeholders, planning the assignment, evidence and documentation for the same, conducting a work procedures, conducting interviews, review and supervision of something, and testifying before competing authorities. Moving further, friends, specialized area means applying the data analysis, evidence discovery in digital domain, which is the one of the most important thing, friends. Then comes loans and borrowings, how to investigate that. Connected parties, how to investigate that. We have discussed all these things, if you can remember, friends. And the last second is reporting results and how to make a quality control of that. So this has been defined very beautifully. Now, what are the opportunities? We have discussed a lot on in our session, and even at the end, your gift is pending, friend, that I remember, where you can be, I can be helpful or assisting you in some good thing. So when talking about the same, what are the opportunities for them? It is an emerging field for the professionals, and the number of frauds are increasing day by day, and so the need of a forensic auditors. Friends, what I believe, that day is not far where government can say for better due diligence and a corporate governance, we want and we need a help of forensic auditor. And above this turnover, let's say 100 crores or 500 crores, there's a compulsion appointment of a forensic auditor in that company. It has already taken place with Reserve Bank of India and the banking industries, that any banks which has lended more than 200 crores of amount, not, I won't say that, yes, friends, 200 crores above any amount to anyone. So in that, there's a compulsory appointment of forensic auditor, which is said a task of a ASM, that is called Agency for Special Monitoring is there. You have to take care of that. Same way SFIO have been prepared serious fraud investigation office. Even SEBI have conducted many tasks for a forensic auditor. Their empanelment of forensic auditor, there is a fees. There is a new area that is called a insolvency bankruptcy code, IBC. In that, if any fraud has taken place or any company is going into IBC, the professional, that is called a RP, resolution professional, have to appoint forensic auditor on checking the transaction audit for that. So there are many more things on that, friends. And even a banks and other regulatory bodies are empaneling CAs and other professionals and making their own panel for forensic auditors. How you can become a forensic auditor? It is necessary to possess a professional certificate from a recognized institute and should have, most important, is a relevant experience in this field. Some recognized forensic courses are FAFD of ICAI, which is a post, I would say, post certification course you can only do after becoming a CA. Then there's a CFAP, certified course on banking or forensic accounting, certified vigilance and investigation expert, etc. And most important, if you want to conduct, is a CFE, that is Certified Fraud Examiner course. Conclusion, as I have told you that I will complete within time, that in summary, a forensic investigation is a very specialized and detailed type of engagement which requires highly skilled team members who have an experience not only in the field of accounting and auditing techniques, but also of the relevant legal framework. There are numerous different types of fraud that a forensic accountant could be asked to investigate, which is likely to ultimately lead to legal proceedings. Forensic accountants must therefore receive specialist training in such matters to ensure that their credibility and professionalism cannot be undermined during the legal process, which is one of the most important things, friends. Moving further, friends, on this thing, sir, my pleasure getting a message from you. My pleasure. Thank you, sir, for that. Friends, now it comes with a gift for you all. Friends, if you are there, you can, if you need some help and guidance and let's connect for future and your gift, you can open a YouTube on your mobile. You can open a YouTube application in your mobile, friends. And in that YouTube, you just type a name, Fintech Chanakya. FINTAX space CHANAKYM. And friends, you can subscribe that channel. I assure you that all the things, understandings we have discussed today, it has been discussed in the easiest manner with you all, where we have already more than 4,000 subscribers and which is free of cost with you. We have already discussed on the topic like forensic, cyber security, cyber frauds, startups, income tax, GST, TDS, and finance. So you can connect with that. And thank you, Sundar sir, Vaibhav, and the team of Sadgan Sangh Parivar to invite me on this platform. If you have any doubt or anything, you can ask me, friends. You can even connect me anytime. Thanks a lot, friends, for a
Thank you,
patience.
sir. Thank you, sir, for
Yes,
explaining
Vaibhavji,
topic
now
in
the time is
simplifying way.
12:29
Yes,
and your
sir.
speech is yours, sir.
Yes, sir. So I request all the delegates and participants, if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask directly, or you can put in the chat box. Sir, there is a question in the chat box from Dilip Negi, sir.
Yes, Dilip Negiji have asked that, can the routine analysis of financial data serve as a proactive measure to prevent fraudulent activities? When discussing about the same, friends, yes, but nah, it is called as a preventive measures. That if we are doing a routine analysis of foreign financial data, and yes, it can prevent a financial frauds. That is called an internal control, a proper control. Let's give an example, Mr. Dilip and others. What happens that if I'm investigating something or I'm analyzing something, there is a control point. Example, in some company we have kept that it has a high amount of cash transactions. So what we did, if any time the cash received by a company and deposited in a bank account differs more than 5,000 rupees, there should be a red flag for me. And an accountant have to report me on a daily basis for that thing. Because even we are providing a virtual CFO service for many companies, that's what I'm telling you. Even other things, that whether the accounting has been done on a regular basis or not. How many checks are there in a bank reconciliation? Whether all the returns, that is a statutory compliance, are done on a regular basis or not. If you are doing a routine analysis of all these things, it helps. Because kindly note a golden word which is going to help you, that what we inspect, we respect. If you're investigating or inspecting some, not investigating, if you're inspecting something, means checking that thing, you are expecting that thing, and there's a less chance to have a fraud in your organization, because I have guided you on a fraud triangle that is a point of an opportunity. If there's a weak control, there will be fraud. If it's a good control, there will be easy way. Example, so next example is a bank. आप जब बैंक में जाते हो, going in a bank, there's a quote written, keep silence your phone or keep your phone in a silence mode. 80% people will put their phone in silence mode. No one is looking at you, no one is grabbing your phone, but by watching that thing, you are doing that thing. And that's an internal control for a system and a people, nothing else, friends. Hope I'm justifying that. My
Thank you,
pleasure,
sir.
Dilip.
Now I repeat again, if anyone have any questions, you can unmute yourself and ask directly, or you can put in the chat box. Sir, I think there is no more questions, so can we move ahead, sir?
Great, sir, great. I'm happy with that because I have some other meeting at 1 p.m.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, Vaibhavji. Hmm.
So our next session is on 25th of November. ICS is pleased to provide you all its research and development, integrated management system, QMS, EMS, and OHSS, excellence in education management, ISO made easy in Gujarati, Marathi, Telugu, and Hindi. For reading any of the above book, please contact Ms. Sushma Kindalkar on the given contact details. Feedback form. I request everyone to please register on www.sadgunsang.org and go in your login and give your valued feedback to us. So thank you, Samir sir, for the wonderful session of today's on prevention of financial frauds using forensic accounting. And I will also thank all the delegates and participants who were part of this Sadgun Sangh. So now it's time to officially close the session. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Be in touch. Thank you, Vaibhavji and team, to invite me.
Thank you,
Thank you.
sir.